What's going on, guys? Larry Hendricks here for GadgetGrizzly.com, and I'm here with my official review of the Apple iPad 2. Now, I've had this device for about, I'd say 5 to 6 weeks. I wanted to make sure I was actually able to test it in everyday use, as opposed to just working it for a week, or using it for a week, and then putting it up for you guys. So, I've had about 5-6 weeks to play with it, and I think I'm ready to give you guys my official opinion on it. So let's go ahead and start off with the internals. This has the new A5 dual-core chip at 1 gigahertz. You have 512 megabytes of RAM, which is bumped up from the 256 on the original. You have a 25 watt-hour battery, up to 10 hours battery life, and a accelerometer and gyro 3-axis. Alright, so I just want to touch on real quick on the dual-core chip. This thing is super fast. You see it snaps right in place. Never had an issue with it. The graphics are phenomenal on games like Infinity Blade. That's one I know really does make it pop. But I think with any game you're going to play on here over Part 1, your graphics are going to be a little clearer, a little crisper. Now, with that said, it does just sip on power. It is fantastic. The 10-hour battery life on this, like I said, 10 hours is almost an understatement. The battery is phenomenal. It's excellent on this. I was really blown away with it. I'm probably charging it every 2 to 3 days. 2 days being on heavy use. 3 days on average use. I really haven't been able to drain the battery in 1 day because, well, obviously I don't really play with it for 10 hours straight. But again, the battery is excellent. I'm very impressed with it. Now let's go ahead and go with the hardware on the product itself. You have a 9.7 inch LED IPS display with a resolution of 1024 by 768 at 132 ppi or pixels per inch. Alright, and this thing is not a Retina display. I know a lot of us were hoping for the Retina display, but this is very crisp, very clean. I have it on full brightness right now, and it really pops. The colors really pop. It's phenomenal. I'm going to use a phenomenal a lot in this product review, guys, because the whole thing impressed me a lot. Really did. The colors, the detail, I mean, it's incredible. And hopefully you'll be able to see that a little more as we go through the review into the browser, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and look at the other hardware. You have your home button right here on the bottom. On the top, you have a front-facing camera with VGA quality. It does shoot stills. It does shoot stills. Sorry, guys. At 640 by 480, and your video capture is also VGA 640 by 480 at 30 frames per second. So honestly, the front camera, not bad. At best, it's decent. It does work well, but I would have enjoyed seeing a little higher quality camera like most other tablets out there that have a 1.2, 1.3, or up to 2 megapixel front camera for video conferencing. A little more clarity, but it does its job. No complaints. It runs very smoothly, I guess. That's the only real disappointment to it, is it's just low quality. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump to the top here. There you go. Alright, guys. We have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Your microphone is located at the top of the device. You have your lock and unlock button, and your rear camera. The rear camera is an unknown resolution, but it does shoot video at 720p. Now the resolution of the camera is actually rumored to be around 1.3 megapixels, which is not impressive by any means. But to be honest with you, how often are you going to use the rear camera on the iPad 2? If camera is a really big issue for you, clarity and all that, then you're probably going to want to go ahead and bump to a higher, or not higher end device, but a different device, maybe a Zoom or a Asus iPad. Any of those devices, maybe the Playbook that has a higher quality rear camera. But honestly, like I said, it shoots real smooth. The sound quality is pretty good. Picture quality, decent at best. Very grainy. Unless you're in natural light, in which case, it does better itself a little bit in natural light. If you guys want to see what I'm talking about, just go ahead and go to my iPad 2 camera test, and I'll make sure I try to put a link in the bottom bar here. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to the other side spine, we have your mute and rotation lock. It's all up to you. You can choose mute lock or rotation lock. You do that in the settings. Volume rocker, up and down. Nothing else there. Go to the bottom of the device. You do have a speaker grill, which, yeah, you should be able to see it just fine. The speaker quality actually is really, really good. It's really impressive, and because it kind of goes with the curve of the iPad, it's hard to really block it out when you lay it down on anything. The sound does come through really well. The only problem I do have, because it's located in the back and the way it points, it tends to shoot away from the iPad, and that, even on full blast, sometimes I have to kind of put my hand over it to try to redirect the sound in my direction. I really do prefer if they were to put it on the front, but, this is just my opinions, guys. Hopefully, maybe they'll be fixed later, maybe they won't. Maybe I'm just shooting myself in the foot. I don't know. Anyways, 30-pin connector for obviously docking it, charging it, so on and so forth. On the left spine, you have nothing, just smooth as can be. And, well, that's pretty much it. You see obviously your black logo. It is a nice aluminum finish. It's a aluminum, not unibody, but it's aluminum body. It's actually really nice. I have the white one here. All right, so now let's go ahead and I believe I did cover all of the hardware. Now let's go more into the software. Now what's really neat is Apple looked a little more onto the lock screen and said, let's go ahead and put something extra on there. So they did. There's actually a little button here, if you can see that right there. And all it is if you're in the lock screen, you hit that button and it brings your pictures up. It's kind of a slideshow. Nice little feature. I have never used it, but it's nice nonetheless. All right, one complaint a lot of people have had is you have all this space here that should be used, and it's dead wasted space. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the software. Now this launches with iOS 4.3. Right now I'm actually running 4.3.3, I believe. Let's find out. Yep, there you go. iOS 4.3.3. All right. And you notice too on iPad over the iPhone 4, it does change. It keeps a smaller thing here for all your information, and you have all of your locations right here on the side. So it's actually really cool how they did that, so you're not jumping back and forth. Now the software included in this, obviously this is most of the software with the exception of these two. These two were extra Apple products I downloaded or purchased. Really the only thing you can get over the iPad 1 is you have FaceTime. You have a camera app now, obviously, because you have two cameras, and you have Photo Booth. All right, let's go ahead and show you real quick what Photo Booth is all about. It's fun. You see me. All it is just like on the iMac. Kind of gives you these little extra effects you can do. In fact, let's go ahead and jump onto one. Thermal. All right. Not really you can do it, but it just kind of gives you a heat sink, I guess, or heat sensitive camera. Let's go ahead and go to mirror. Now what's really neat is you can actually take the divider and move it around. So if you want this guy that one just kind of stick out of the corner, you can. Twirl, same thing. You can move the twirl all around. So it's a nice, fun little app, little software. But to be honest with you, I have not used it all that much. I played with it for probably the first day or two I had it. After that, I really haven't opened it up since just now. Otherwise, you have iMovie, which is not included. It is $4.99 in the Android market, and there's a separate review for that. I'll try to put a link to that in the below as well. iBooks not included, but it's a free download. It's actually really neat. You just have your kind of little drawers here, or shelves rather, that you can go through and keep all your books in there. You have books and you have PDFs. It'll save in here as well, so you read PDFs through there. But it's this really isn't the review over the iPad or the iBooks. All right, now settings, iPod, videos, photos. One disappointment with the iPod. If you open it up, there's no cover flow in this. That was kind of a disappointment, but in reality, how often do you use cover flow? I hardly ever do. I actually prefer to just go ahead and go to a regular, list form. All right, now let's go to the browser. This is actually, the more you play with it, the better it is, the more I like it. Right now, as you see, you don't have tabs on top like you do on the Google devices, on the Android devices. Actually, when you hit this little button right up here, you have these panels that come up. And at first I did not like this. I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't a big fan of it at first. But after doing it for a while, I actually really do enjoy this, because when you open it up, you can see all of the web pages open the full web page, as opposed to just the title of what it is. And it's very easy to open the page. Just click that, super simple. Go there, go to the Apple one, so on and so forth. It's super simple, guys. All right, now on top of that, let's go to one you can see a little better. Right on top here, you have a bookmark bar. You can add whatever you want. Apple. I have Apple, Best Buy, and Google. Those are my most searched pages I actually go to. But you can put whatever you want. All you have to do is simply go to that page, hit that little bookmark button right there, and just like a little open book, and you just go to bookmarks bar. You can save in here general bookmarks. You have your history, so on and so forth. Front, back button. Nothing super fantastic, but it's it's a very simple, very elegant, and very speedy browser. I'm actually very impressed with it. In fact, let's go ahead and go to Apple and show you the pinch to zoom on this. With the new A5 processor, the pinch to zoom is even faster. Alright, so let's go ahead and just zoom in. Obviously, this picture isn't handling that very well. Let's find some text. There you go. So you go right in there. And usually, which is really odd right now, usually it clears out just like this. Obviously, these are lower resolution pictures. But pinch to zoom is just really, really fast, guys. Really responsive. You'll do catch the checker marks every once in a while. I also wanted to make a mention, guys, on the bump in RAM from 256 to 512 megabytes of RAM. One thing it really does help out with is when you're switching between pages, it's just really fast and really fluent. There's no having to reload the pages up like on the first generation. If you had so many pages up, it would reload the pages after you relaunched them after going through the tabs. This one caches them very well, and I have never had to have to reload the page up ever. I've had like 12 up here, and it's never had to reload the page. So very impressive, very, very impressive. All right, so that's the browser. It's the more you mess with it, the more I like it. Or the more I mess with it, the more I like it over the Android. Don't get me wrong, I still love the Android operating or the Android browser, but it's personal preference, and I really do enjoy this. Otherwise, this is all the software that's included with it. And obviously, you can get more apps. You have folders that you can open up and put all your apps in there, up to I believe 9 pages, and just a crap load of apps you can put in here. This is the 16 gigabyte model. It does come in 16, 32, and 64. This is the Wi-Fi only device here as well. There's also Wi-Fi and 3G through Verizon and AT&T, and you can always tell 3G versus Wi-Fi. If you look on the top here, 3G will have a little black cutout right there, and that's for the antenna signal. So this is obviously just a Wi-Fi device. Alright, so that's the browser. That's the overall feel of it, guys. Let's go ahead and go back here. There you go. That's the overall feel of it. I gotta be honest with you, I really, really do enjoy it. I've been using this for about 4 or 5, maybe 6 weeks, and I have not had one issue with it. Well, I've had one issue where the Wi-Fi wouldn't connect. I had to restart it. But otherwise, very, very, very few issues. No force closes. It's just super speedy, super fast. Now, is this going to replace your laptop? No. This is a kind of just a pick up and play with kind of device. That's what it really shines at, is just picking it up and doing what you want with it real fast, as opposed to having to turn it all on and then turn it back off and so on and so forth. So it's just kind of a post, I think what he said was a post PC. I think it was what Steve Jobs mentioned, was a post PC device. So it's something that when you don't really want to jump on your computer, if you want to sit in front of your TV, watch some TV, and cruise the internet, this is it right here. I just want to kind of make a mention, guys, that you do have some apps on here that really do accelerate the product itself, or accelerate it. It boosts the product with something like, let's go to, there you go. Hulu, Revision 3, Netflix, Pandora, all these things use media. This is really what it was designed for, is media. So definitely use it on that. Otherwise, guys, A+, I absolutely love this device. I'm so glad I bought it. The only downside is the cameras. I wish the quality would have been a little better, but it's nothing that's really a deal breaker for me. I'm not going to sell this and go buy the Zoom just because it has a higher camera, or the Samsung Galaxy Tab because it has higher quality cameras. Honestly, it's just not a big deal for me. So anyways, guys, this was Larry Hendricks for GadgetGrizzly.com, and yeah, definite A+ on this device. Alright guys, so I will see you guys in another video. Later.